local news that matters. This is CBS 17 News.
After fire tore through a Raleigh apartment building over the weekend, some people who live there want to know why their smoke alarms didn't go off. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Angela Taylor.
And I'm Rod Carter. CBS 17's Maggie Newland spoke to them about their concerns and joins us now live. Maggie.
Rod and Angela, you can see the building after yesterday's fire. Crews were here all day putting up blue tarps and boarding up windows. Now, fire officials tell me a smoke alarm did go off in at least one unit here, but two people who live in other units in the same building say they never heard their alarms.
I was woken up by the pounding of, fists on the door.
Austin McMullen's doorbell camera shows that frantic wake-up call as firefighters worked to get everyone out of his apartment building.
They were screaming, "Get out," underneath their gas masks. So I ran back inside, told my roommate and his girlfriend to go ahead and wake up. We got to go now, now, now.
When they got across the street, they saw flames shooting from the roof of their building at Six Forks Station Apartments. Firefighters say 4 people from the building and a firefighter had to go to the hospital. Austin's grateful he got out safely, but doesn't understand why the smoke alarm in his unit didn't go off.
There were no alarms whatsoever that I recalled. Now, we didn't really register that until we were across the street, and then we went, hey, wait a minute. Did anybody else kind of hear anything?
Firefighters say one woman told them a smoke alarm did alert her to the fire, but another person who lives in the building says his smoke alarm didn't go off either. A check of fire inspection records shows the building was inspected in May of 2022 and re-inspected in June. The only item noted was that there were several fire extinguishers throughout the property that are difficult to determine if they're within the inspection time frame. We went to the apartment complex office and were referred to their corporate office. BH Management Services released a statement saying they're still working to gather information about what happened, and they don't have enough information to comment on the status of the affected unit's smoke detectors. Austin says he would have expected every alarm in the building to go off, especially given how sensitive many detectors are.
I've been in different apartment complexes where if you use your air fryer too long, the smoke alarm goes off.
And firefighters say the cause of this fire is still under investigation. Live in Raleigh, Maggie Newland, CBS 17 News.
All right, Maggie, thank you.
A crime alert tonight. The Durham Sheriff's Office is looking for a driver wanted in a road rage shooting. This happened just after 7 last night near the intersection of U.S. Highway 70 and Pleasant Drive. The drivers of a blue Ford Mustang and a white Audi got into a fight after a minor crash. Well, deputies say the Audi driver pulled out a rifle and shot at the Mustang as it drove away. Deputies are trying to identify the driver of the Audi and the passenger. Ooh, unbelievable video there. Those two people, that's who they're looking for. Anyone who has information should call Crime Stoppers. How real. I mean, that's just unbelievable to see that play out like that on surveillance video.
Durham City Council members want fewer police officers responding to crisis calls and more social workers.
CBS 17's Dina Hardley joins us live from Durham. And Dina, they want to make this happen by funding a program that uses unarmed trained professionals.
Yeah, it's called the HEART program, and it does just that. It sends unarmed trained professionals to mental health calls or welfare checks, but they only get sent there during certain hours of the day and in certain areas of the city. But now some city council members want it available to everybody 24/7.
Minimizing people's contact with the criminal legal system, whether that's a police officer or a court or a jail, right, is always the best option in order to make sure those people get the help that they really need.
Some Durham City Council members are working to get more funding for the city's HEART program, which sends unarmed trained professionals to crisis calls rather than armed law enforcement. Right now, the program is only available during business hours and in limited locations. Council members want it to be available 24/7 and especially in certain areas.
Areas where we get high calls around maybe mental health, substance abuse, things like that.
There's one obstacle.
The only thing that's stopping it from going citywide is funding. We need to fund the program and we need to hire the people.
To do that, council members say the city can reallocate money, increase revenue through tax rates, or rely on a budget increase because of natural growth in Durham. They say the investment is not a takeaway from law enforcement, but rather an effort to maximize resources.
And I'm not saying that we should defund the police. That is not what I'm saying. I do believe that we need to work together. I do believe that if we have these first responders going out, that the police can then work on more of the safety in our community.
Now, if more funding is given to the program, it would be part of the next fiscal year budget. That budget would be effective on July 1st. Live in Durham, Dina Harley, CBS 17 News.
All right, Dina, thank you.
One man is dead and another is injured after a shooting in Rocky Mount last night.
So this happened at the Executive Inn on North Westland Boulevard. A 20-year-old man was shot and killed. A 58-year-old man was taken to the hospital where he is in stable condition. Police have not yet released any other details, but they say they are investigating this case as a homicide. Anyone with information is asked to call the Rocky Mount Police Department.
A person was shot in Fayetteville around midnight. The person was at Jumpers on Riley Road. Police tell us that a fight inside the bar is what led up to that shooting. We don't know the condition of the victim, and police are trying to get some surveillance video. They're using that to try to piece together exactly what happened and identify a suspect in this case.
Plans to build a new 911 call center in Fayetteville could be put on hold.
Well, this comes just months after voters approved a $60 million bond referendum, which included a new emergency communications center. CBS 17's Justin Moore explains why city leaders are rethinking those plans.
Fayetteville City Dispatcher, how can I help you?
On average, 900 emergency calls a day come here to the second floor of Fayetteville City Hall, where the 911 call center is located. In November, voters passed a $60 million public safety bond referendum, which included a $34 million call center.
With all this money that we have, we like to be good stewards of our funds.
Now city leaders are looking at another potential cost-saving measure as they are discussing moving from the current location into a newer facility that houses Cumberland County's 911 call center.
Would it be cheaper to sort of rent, to build and then sort of rent the property from the county, or for us to go alone?
Back in October, Cumberland County opened its new 911 call center in Fayetteville. This after the city council and county commissioners couldn't come to an agreement on building a center together.
I think it's worth us looking into whether or not there's any cost-saving potential by combining with the county.
Cumberland County commissioners say they have not heard from city leaders regarding this renewed interest. In a statement, County Commission Chairwoman Tony Stewart says, "I'm willing to sit down and have a conversation. My interest is always what's best for the citizens of Cumberland County." In Fayetteville, Justin Moore, CBS 17 News.
And they are supposed to talk about this during tonight's Fayetteville City Council work session. In a rare move, the state Supreme Court is going to rehear two significant cases that could impact voting rights in North Carolina.
The cases deal with whether you have to show an ID to vote and how state lawmakers draw electoral districts. The court previously ruled that the state's voter ID law was unconstitutional because of racial discrimination. They also determined that electoral districts Republicans drew were examples of extreme partisan gerrymandering.
Republicans are likely to rule in favor of something that sticks with the text of the Constitution and what the laws actually say, not what the left of center activists are telling the judges and justices.
Democrats or Republicans are not going to say to you, yeah, we think it's because the facts changed or because the law changed. Everybody agrees it's because the court changed. It's because the partisan composition of the court changed.
The court will hear these cases in the middle of next month. Today, crews are still looking for debris from that Chinese balloon that the military shot down off the Carolina coast Saturday.
All right, take a look at this video. This is from Myrtle Beach, and it looks like crews collecting possible pieces of that balloon there. Any piece of debris, no matter how big or how small, is a part of the federal investigation. And if you pick that up or take it home with you, that would be considered tampering with the investigation. White House officials say similar Chinese spy balloons have entered U.S. airspace before.
This is part of a broad campaign to extract as much data and information as the Chinese Communist Party can to gain an advantage over us.
Senior Biden administration officials claim they closely watched the balloon in flight before shooting it down and then waited until it was offshore to prevent any damage on the ground.
Not everyone agrees with the actions taken by the Biden administration, so we want to know what you think. Should the U.S. have shot down that Chinese balloon sooner? So far, it looks like 46% say no, 54% say yes. If you haven't voted yet, you can do so. Make sure you have our CBS 17 News app downloaded. From there, touch the menu in the upper left corner and select CBS 17 votes.
Dozens of dogs are rescued after rarely being let out of cages, I should say.
Yeah, how they're being cared for now after being taken from a backyard breeder here in North Carolina.
And Carter Finley is going to be the home of hockey, for a night. Look at the work that's going into making the NHL's Stadium Series come to Raleigh.
Hey, and it's not easy to make ice when temperatures are this warm in February. but those numbers are going to go up even more later this week, all before our next cold front. I'll bring you up to speed on the timing of that front and when it'll bring us some good rain chances, too. That's less than 10 minutes away.
You're watching CBS 17 News, covering local news that matters. I want to give you an update on this crash on I-40 we told you about earlier. This is a live look at traffic in that area. You can see it is going slow in both directions. We know there was a car crash right here in this area, and then a second car crash. The second one has since been cleaned up. A tow truck, there were some police officers, but you can see the brake lights, so traffic is still moving quite slowly there.
All right, let's take a look at the live drive map right now, and you can see that there's a lot of red. The actual area where that accident happened is I-40 eastbound near Airport Boulevard. It's completely backed up. They were hoping to have this all cleared up by 6:30. I don't know if that's going to happen right now because that's only like about 15 minutes away, but just keep that in mind if you have to head out that way.
Well, you're looking at bags of dirty, matted hair from two of the dogs that were rescued from a backyard breeder in western North Carolina.
Investigators found 47 dogs that they say were left outside and rarely allowed out of their cages. Now 10 of those golden doodles are being cared for in Wake County at Freedom Ride Rescue. The executive director there tells us that it's going to be a while before these dogs are ready to adopt.
They're unsocialized, and on top of that, they have a host of health issues that we're just coming to find out about. Most of the dogs howled around the clock for the first couple of days we had them. So it's incredibly sad.
And the work to clean up and treat the dogs is also very expensive. So if you would like to help out, we put a link to Freedom Ride Rescue on our website, cbs17.com. Orange County Animal Services says a pot-bellied pig, and it is a big pig, that they've been looking for is now safe and sound.
Yeah, they found it today around noon. Take a look. This very large pot-bellied pig was kept as a pet before. It's about the size of a wild boar with big tusks. Animal Services now say the owner is not able to reclaim the animal. It's being sheltered and is resting right now. They say it is not dangerous. They're now working to find a new home for this pig. Animal Services says many owners end up in this situation because they don't realize how big the pigs get. I guess they sell them. They say that they're teacup pigs, but they say that's not really a thing. We've done a story on this, but they all actually grow up to be very large animals.
That's a large animal to take care of right there.
Well, it may feel like spring right now, but the NHL is preparing to put ice in place at Carter Finley for the big Stadium Series hockey game in just a few weeks.
CBS 17 Storm Team meteorologist Rachel Duensing is live out there for us tonight. And Rachel, the weather plays a pretty big role in the preparation for this game, right?
Oh, yeah. And when I talked to NHL officials earlier today, I made sure to ask them, like, do you know how crazy Raleigh weather can be? You can be 30 one day, 60 the next. And they said, yeah, they're aware, and they just planned for it.
Whoa!
Caniacs are ready.
Oh, let's go, Canes! Let's go, Canes!
For the Stadium Series against the Washington Capitals. After the outdoor game was delayed 2 years, the 53-foot trailer housing a giant refrigeration unit was finally parked outside Carter Finley Stadium in Raleigh Monday.
So we have 2 screw compressors that you see right here. We have about 300 tons of refrigeration, so we definitely have enough capacity to build the outdoor rink.
But even with this powerful refrigerator, building an outdoor hockey rink in the crazy Raleigh weather is sure to have its challenges. Despite that, Derek King with the NHL says they can handle it. It just takes planning.
Our goal here now is to be ready like the 15th. It's obviously a big game for these teams, so we practice day for them is going to be practice day for us just to fine-tune how everything's working.
Before they can make ice, they need a solid foundation. Monday after the trailer arrived, workers started laying down armor deck. Once that's finished, they will take days and 20,000 liters of water to flood the field.
A lot of the ice making will take place overnight. We'll cover the ice during the day. There's a lot of other things for us to do to get ready for the game. And then once the sun's off the field, we'll uncover and we'll make ice through the night.
This is a big setup for a big game, and everyone agrees the effort is worth it.
When they hear that we're going to do a game outdoors, I think there's a lot of excitement to it, and it's a great stadium, so it's definitely going to be an exciting time for the game.
Definitely an exciting time for the game for sure. All right, so here's the thing. Obviously, we love to see the sunshine, but that bright sunshine can help melt the ice. But that's why they have that cover, which is temperature controlled. But because the sunshine can help melt the ice, the fact that our game is at 8 p.m. actually works in our favor. Rain makes things a little bit more complicated, but officials are confident that if any rain falls, they can either refreeze it or squeegee it off the ice, so they don't have to worry about any of those issues. But basically, the bottom line, they're going to do whatever they can to make it work, and I think everyone agrees it is worth the wait. They are ready for this game to finally get underway next Saturday, the 18th. Live in Raleigh, meteorologist Rachel Duensing, CBS 17.
The squeegee part I like.
I want to see that happen too. I know they don't want it. All right, Rachel, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Wes?
All right, 12 days from now is when the game is happening, and they left the lights on for Rachel and the crew as we look live from our Whitley Law Firm weather camera out at Carter Finley Stadium, where it just dropped to 56 degrees, still above freezing. We've got a warm week ahead, but as we look at the 8 to 14-day temperature outlook, which will take us through February 20th, remember, games on the 18th, we are looking at warmer than average conditions to continue. We've got a cold front later this week, but that's only going to cool us down temporarily for the weekend before we get back close to 70 next week. I'll show you that in the 10-day forecast here in just a second. But welcome to the first full week of February. It's not March, despite the temperatures behind me. Here's what we've got this week. It was 63 today. Our average high is 54, so we're already way above average. We're going to do it again tomorrow. Get even warmer Wednesday and Thursday before rain and a cold front arrive Friday. Still going to be mild Friday. The cold air will sneak in here this upcoming weekend. So outside right now, 50s for most of us. Roxborough, you've already dropped down to 46. But remember, average high this time of year, 54, right? I mean, most everyone's still above that at 6 o'clock at night. And we are definitely warmer today than what we've had the last 5 days. The weekend was cold. Last week was cold, cloudy, and wet. So we are very thankful for what we had today. But right now, we are 7 to 12 degrees warmer right now down in Fayetteville than where we were yesterday at 6 o'clock. But as we go hour by hour tonight, it is still going to get cold. It's going to feel like February tomorrow morning. We'll keep it dry, clear tonight with a couple clouds toward tomorrow morning. Look how the temperatures tumble from 50 at 8, 42 at midnight, 32 is how things will start off tomorrow morning. This morning it was 42, so noticeably colder tomorrow morning. But again, we've got lots of sunshine, warm weather this week, all thanks in part to this high pressure. I mean, it's really kind of wiped the slate clean on most of the eastern half of the United States. That rainmaker, cold front, coming Friday, that's still west of Texas. So it's going to take its time in moving across the country, but when it is here on Friday, it brings us a good chance of rain. We've raised it up to 70%. That is our next big weather maker. So out ahead of the front, that's when we'll see the rain during the day Friday, and it is a rain event. I mean, I know it's going to be close to 70, but it is February, so I figured just in case you're wondering if there's any snow, not a chance. That rain arrives on Friday. We'll be here throughout most of the day, but it's out of here for the weekend as temperatures drop and rain chances drop Saturday and Sunday. So another beautiful day tomorrow with mostly sunny skies. Look for a high of 61. Warmer Wednesday and Thursday. Rain starts to sneak in here late Thursday night. That's at 20% chance. The day Thursday is dry. 70% Friday with clouds. Cold front late in the day, so we're still warm and 64. We're not as warm Saturday and Sunday, but rain and clouds move out. Temperatures in the low 50s, Super Bowl weekend. And then your exclusive 10-day forecast, Valentine's Day next Tuesday, 63. Next Thursday, we are up to 70 degrees. And again, I occasionally dozed off in some meteorology classes in college. Most of them I was awake for. 70 is warmer than 32 freezing.
Is it?
It's going to be tough to keep ice frozen.
It's good to know.
You can't set me up like that. That clears up so much.
You didn't know where I was going.
No, it clears up a lot about your forecast, buddy.
All right, Jordan, let's talk sport.
All right, well, how quickly can Duke move on from Saturday's win over North Carolina? John Shire is hoping they are already past it. The team is in Miami for a big Monday matchup. We take a look at that game coming up next.
News Nation airs every night at 7.
Here's a preview.
Tonight on my show on News Nation.
A special report on Mexican drug cartels. They are planting their flags in our country, and they are killing us.
We no longer have border states. All 50 states are border states.
Hometowns all across America are in the crosshairs.
Guns, fentanyl.
It's ripping families apart.
It's not safe anywhere.
The investigation starts tonight on News Nation.
Black History on CBS 17 is proudly sponsored by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services. You shouldn't have to wear your sunglasses at night. Headlights are an important crash protection device in your vehicle at night. But what happens when the cars and trucks on the road's lights continue to get brighter? It can actually become a problem for drivers, causing you to adjust your mirrors and shield your eyes from the headlights in your eyes.
Sometimes brighter isn't always better.
Tuesday at 5:30, CBS 17 is digging deeper into why headlights are getting brighter. This is the CBS 17 Sports Desk, sponsored by Closets by Design.
Well, move over, Kyle Filipowski. There is a new ACC Rookie of the Week in town. Still a Duke freshman, though. After a record-setting performance on Saturday against North Carolina, Derek Lively earned this week's honors. Not much time for him to celebrate the conference nod. Duke is in Coral Gables, warming up as we speak for a big Monday rematch with Miami. Round one narrowly went to the Blue Devils, a 68-66 win with Derek Whitehead in the lineup. Devils will not be able to utilize that freshman tonight. His lower left leg is still giving him some problems, so he has been ruled out. Jon Scheyer said on Saturday after the win over North Carolina, he's going to need his team to be focused to be up for the task of taking one on the road.
It's a quick turnaround. You need to get your body recovered, and of course, mentally is as big as anything. We've just gone through this 2 weeks ago with Virginia Tech in a quick turnaround, so hopefully we can use that experience and translate it to Monday night.
Well, there is only one ranked men's basketball team in the Triangle right now, and they do not wear blue. Nope, it is NC State. They check in this week at number 22. It's the first time the Pack have been ranked since 2019. Now, Kevin Keatts has not been one to shy away from opportunity talk this season, and State has plenty of it coming up in February. At 9-4 in ACC play, the Wolfpack are just a few games out of first place in the conference standings. Chance to gain some ground comes tomorrow at Virginia. A win wouldn't only boost their standings in the ACC, but their resume for the NCAA tournament.
You know, you got to look at opportunities now because they are so important, especially since a few years ago we went to a net system where everything is based on your quad ones versus quad twos, threes, and fours. And so, you know, tomorrow will be another great opportunity for us.
NC State women are also ranked 22nd in the latest AP poll. They're in a top 25 showdown as we speak. Wolfpack hosting the Hokies at Reynolds Coliseum. At last glance, they trailed 15-12. Over in Chapel Hill, it's not quite time to push the panic button just yet, but with every loss, it's shining a little brighter and brighter. Carolina is now 1-7 in quad one games, and their offense has kind of sputtered lately.
In transition, all of us, all five guys, consistently the way that we have in the past. And so we've got to do a better job of that.
All right. Thank you very much.
That's it. You're done.
That's it.
See you at 11.